Tigers, and last year the Loveland Tigers went 6-4 in the ECC and finished actually 3-3 in the ECC, and a great year for them. In fact, this Loveland Tigers team is going to be going into the season winning 6 of their last 7 games by shutout, including a win over Winton Woods by a shutout. But the one thing the Loveland Tigers have this year that they haven't had before is a new head coach, and that is Fred Cranford to my right. And Coach, you come from Fenwick, your alma mater. You've left it to come to Loveland. Why?
A lot of people have asked that question over the last couple months. Probably the biggest reason is what I know about Loveland, the community. There's an incredible amount of passion for Tiger football, and there's never a good time to leave, but it was an opportunity I definitely couldn't pass up, and I've just been blessed that I've been given this opportunity.
But it's your alma mater. I mean, everybody says they want to stay at their alma mater, but it always seems like people that go away from their alma mater end up having very good success afterwards. I mean, when you look right over here to your left, Andy Owens, I mean, he went to East Clinton, and he had great success right down the road south here at Kings. But East Clinton's had a great program. It's continued to thrive, and you're in sort of a situation like that. Coach Marlott started a good thing. He didn't leave you in a bad situation. We were talking about this last night. Talk a little bit about what he left you here at Loveland.
Well, what I walked into, I've been very fortunate. Just a great group of young men willing to work hard. I think probably the most important thing that I've been pleased is with their attitude to be open-minded and willing to learn. Coach Marlott left this program in a great shape. Just the attitude, the work ethic, the summer workouts. It was really a gold mine find for myself, and I think probably my biggest task I had to do was start to build relationships with these young men and put a good coaching staff together, and definitely then we restructured our summer. But Coach Marlott and what the staff that he had, they did an incredible job, and I'm just excited to hopefully take this program to the next level.
Well, let's talk about the next level a little bit. Loveland goes from Division I down to Division II, but Division II is loaded. You come from a Division IV school. What do you know about Division II, Region 6, which used to be Region 8 here in Southwest Ohio?
Definitely a lot of credibility. In Southwest Ohio, Division II, to be bumped to Division II was very exciting for the Tigers and myself to walk into this situation. Definitely going to be very competitive each week. There's not a week Friday on the schedule, so I think we've got to kind of recreate the culture, if you will, and mentally tough every week. You can't play down to opponents, and you got to come out every week ready to play, or you're going to get knocked off. But I've got a lot of respect for the teams and the coaches in this league and Division II itself, and we'll have our work cut out for us. But I know we're going to be ready to play and come out ready to compete.
Let's talk about the history of Loveland football. They've had some great success a decade or so ago, but they've always been that tweener team like Anderson. They may move up from Division II to Division I, or back down from Division I to Division II for 2 years. Now you're going to be in Division II for probably a while. But let's talk about getting that program to the next level. Obviously, you did it 25 wins over the last 3 years at Fenwick. How can you get this program to 25 wins over the next 3 years?
Well, we've got to kind of bring everything together. Defensively, I know at Loveland has been the staple. Been very impressive defensively over the last few years. You're looking at how many shutouts they've had in the last how many games. Just trying to marry that defense with the offense that I bring to the table, and these kids have been very willing to learn it, work hard to execute it. We had a great summer. It was a long summer, spending 10 practices on our own turf, installing. But I know we're right where we need to be. Now it's just a matter of fine-tuning some footwork and just taking that tradition and putting some more numbers up on the banner is something that we have got to make sure happens. And hopefully we can bring a little bit more offense to the table. What we'll bring is a system, and that won't change as long as I'm here. And we're excited to have our even our Pee Wee and youth programs running our offense, and I think that's got to happen. There's got to be some continuity in this community. So hopefully, with that continuity, good things will happen.
Okay, so at a Catholic school, continuity is a little different. You've got 6 or 7 feeder schools, and and we'll talk a little bit. Scott Tillo's from the west side. Elder has a lot of feeder schools, and you being from the Catholic side of things, there isn't continuity. I mean, how do you get that to get those people underneath you to embrace that continuity feeling?
Well, that is a difficult task, being my first year. At Bishop Fenwick, there was no continuity. You couldn't go out and reach out. It was a puzzle every year with your incoming freshmen, and you had to piece that together. Here, we can establish that offensive, defensive continuity with our youth coaches, installing our offense, installing our defense. Hope with just being visible in the youth programs, it just creates that Tiger pride where they're excited to want to come play for you, want to come to the games and reach out. So I think it's just going to be our program reaching out more to the youth programs, to get them excited about what's to come.
All right. Well, let us introduce all your players. We'll start on the far right, and then we're going to end up going to the left and talk offense first. But start on the defensive side on the far right. Tell us who you've got here, real quick, and then we'll go down here to the offensive side.
Brian High.
Charlie Lawler.
Andrew Alden.
Jeff Preview.
Jeff, let's talk to you a little bit. Coach was talking about he had Frank Katrine over at Fenwick, an all-purpose guy, offense, defense, special teams. What's he told you about your role in 2013? Because I know you've been a starter, or actually played since you were a freshman at a very high level. So tell us about your role in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, freshman year, I played some wide receiver. Last year, I played some corner. As of right now, I'm gonna start at corner, and then he'll throw me in some at H-back, wide receiver, return punts and kicks and stuff like that.
You never had to be touched a whole lot as far as getting hit a whole lot in your first 3 years. How are you working this offseason to make yourself bigger and to handle more touches?
Just lifting in the weight room. We've been going 3 days a week. We've been out there on the field just on our own without the coaches sometimes, just doing one-on-one, 7-on-7, things like that. I think it'll help.
Sounds good. Let's go over here to Andrew Alton. Andrew is a tristatefootball.com preseason member or nomination for offensive lineman. And Andrew, you're a first-team All-ECC member last year. ECC, a tough league. Talk a little bit about who you have to face on a given night. Brady Vanover's of the world from Kings and some of the other guys. But talk a little bit about EC football in the trenches on the lines.
Well, ECC football is pretty smash mouth up front. There's a lot of hard-nosed kids on the Glen Estes and the Turpins and Andersons. And there's always some tough D linemen. Winwoods we're playing this year, which isn't conference, but there's a bunch of good D linemen on their D line.
Winwoods. Last year they were fantastic. You guys forced 5 turnovers in I think it was a rain game, if I'm not mistaken. It was a rainy night, nasty night. But you guys got in there, smashed mouth with them. This year they are our preseason #1 team in Division II. Beating a team like that, what's that do for your confidence going into your senior year?
Well, we know we have extreme potential, and we know what we can do. We can beat some great teams. We just got to be more consistent this year and bring home some victories.
The offense, it's going to change a lot. I mean, Coach Marlott, a lot of smash mouth football. Talk about your quarterback. Talk about some of the guys that are up front with you. What's coming back? What has Coach Cranford changed that you really are thinking, yeah, this is going to make us special?
It's still very confusing to the defense, so it's basically a win-win, and so we're paying attention to much more detail this year, and it's not just scheme, it's footwork, it's hand placement, it's how you break the huddle, how you get in your stance, so it's just much more technical this year.
Sounds good. We're going to move everything down to the far side, to the defensive side of the ball, and rightly so with the Loveland Tigers, and Brian Popp, who's also a preseason tristatefootball.com nominee for all preseason team, and Brian, outstanding year as a linebacker last year. But it is a good defense, and there's more than you and just Charlie Lawler there. Max Mather and Weber. Talk about some of the guys that are joining you on that side of the football and what you've accomplished to this point and what you guys have talked about in the offseason, getting better on in 2013.
Really, it's just like Max, Tanner Griffin, and then Michael Weber and Darren Sackett. We really just control the defense, and something we worked on a lot this year is when we get our backs against the wall, we don't panic, and we can sort things back out and step right back up for another play. And so we're just a lot more experienced than most teams on the defensive side.
Did that toughness, what did Coach Marlott teach you about not panicking and being tough? Because he was at Miami of Ohio as a defensive player, but what did he tell you about that, not panicking on defense? Because obviously it's worked.
Yeah, we just had to keep our composure, get back up for every play, and give it our all. So just do your job and everything will fall right in place.
For you on the defensive side of the ball, knowing things are going to change on offense, well, what are you excited about looking at the offense this year? Coach Giovanni Ricci at quarterback and so forth.
Our line and skill positions, like Nate Slagle is very, very good, and our O-line is big this year, and they're fast, and we're just a lot more technical, so they can get out and make more blocks in the open field. Just get out there and score.
Sounds good. Let's bring it over to Charlie Lawler. Charlie, I think you were a second team all-district last year in Division II, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to, off the top of my head, second team all-district.
Yes, sir.
And Charlie's been a 3-year starter and outstanding defensive lineman. And Charlie, offers for you. Anything on the table yet?
I got a few nibbles, but no bites yet, so we'll see.
But do you go to camps in the off season, and what are you working on, and what are college coaches telling you?
Mostly, put more weight on, but I like to go to camps just to, learn. Like Coach said, everybody on our team likes to learn from other coaches, learn from other players, just be a sponge and soak up as much as you can.
The old FAVC. I interviewed you and Max Mather after a Mount Healthy game a couple of years back when you were sophomores. A lot of talent between the SWAC and the ECC, all those teams. But from that time that you played that Mount Healthy team and that night to now, how have things changed for you?
Dramatically. Becoming a smarter football player in general, having a higher football IQ, just learning, like Pop said, just the details. The details matter so much in football games. Football is a game of inches and a game of seconds, and making sure that you're in the right place at the right time. And, the younger guys, making sure they're coming up and they're knowing, and they know what's going on in the defense, and just playing football, man.
Younger guys, who on this Loveland team can we expect as sophomores to see something of, and guys that you say, wow, this is the next generation?
Jake, this guy on our team named Jake Saunders, a sophomore. This kid is he's something special. He's gonna blow up in the next couple of years, and everyone around this town, the city, is gonna know his name. He's a great athlete.
Coach Cranford, after knowing him for just a very short time, what do you think, and what are your thoughts moving forward about playing for him?
I love it. Since the day he came in, he had a plan. He's very confident in himself. It was, you know, follow me and I'll lead you to the promised land type deal. We're all in. I love it every minute. You know, I love our practice schedule. I love the tempo, the intensity. It's awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better coach.
Sounds good. You know, Charlie Lawler and the rest of the Loveland Tigers, let's give them a big hand. We expect big things out of them in 2013. And I'm Greg Shoemaker for Tri-State Football. We're going to be right back with the Kings Knights.